Alright guys, here's the thing. Two phones, same price, totally different styles. So should you play it safe with the OnePlus Nord CE5 or take a chance with the Nothing Phone 3a? I have used both the phones as my daily driver, so let's cut through the noise and find out which one's better. Hey guys, I'm Kshitij. You are watching Once Upon a Techie. Let's jump right in. Starting with the design, these two phones couldn't be more different. Nothing Phone 3a is instantly visible, transparent back, the glyph lighting, and the unique camera module placement. But OnePlus Nord CE5 is polar opposite, a safer, more mature look, frosted matte finish, and this blue color particularly reminds me of a very popular phone. Comment down below if you know which phone I'm referring to. But it has all plastic build, plastic frame, and the back is plastic too. And it for sure feels like plasticky in the hand. Phone 3a also has a plastic frame, but the back is of glass, so it definitely feels more premium in the hand. Even if the Nord CE5's design is not as striking as the Phone 3a, it still looks good. And it even manages to be slightly slimmer than the Phone 3a. You also get a nice matching cover with the Nord CE5, while you have to buy one separately for the Nothing 3a. And when it comes to haptics, that is where nothing hits back. The vibration feels tighter than what you get on the OnePlus. And you feel the better haptics everywhere, like texting, unlocking the phone, and everywhere else in the UI. Now for the durability. Nord CE5 has a slight advantage as it comes with IP65 rating versus Phone 3a's IP64 rating. And both can handle dust and light splashes of water. Nothing groundbreaking. Nothing Phone 3a comes with Panda glass on the front and back, but OnePlus has not specified what kind of glass they are using. Thankfully, both phones come with a pre-applied screen protector, so that's a good thing. Now the big one, the battery life. And OnePlus has gone absolutely bonkers here. The Nord CE5 in India comes with a 7100 mAh battery. And honestly, that's like strapping a mini power bank to your phone. 2 days of mixed use is possible, and I regularly saw 10 to 11 hours of screen on time while scrolling reels, live streaming sports, and some gaming, plus 26 to 27 hours of screen off time. So easily 1.5 days. Even if you are a power user, it's basically impossible to kill this phone in a single day. Nothing 3a comes with a more standard 5000 mAh battery. You get solid but not mind-blowing endurance. Expect around 7 to 8.5 hours of screen on time, and usually you'll be charging it after 28 hours or so. Battery life is not bad at all, but in direct fight, OnePlus just vibes the flow with it. As for charging, the difference gets even bigger. Nothing Phone 3a supports 50-watt charging, but you have to buy a 2000 rupees charger separately, and it takes around 65 to 70 minutes for a full top-up. On the other hand, the Nord CE5 includes an 80-watt charger right in the box, charging that huge battery in the same 65 minutes, which is insane. It also has bypass charging, which is quite useful if you play games a lot. And if you have made it so far in the video, then hit that subscribe button and support the channel. Time for these screens, and this is where paper specs and day-to-day use sometimes clash. Both phones go big. 6.77-inch Full HD Plus AMOLED panel with 120Hz, and they both look superb. Under direct sunlight, both have exactly the same brightness, and you'll not face any issues using them outdoors. But when it comes to watching HDR videos, Nothing advertises it can reach up to 3000 nits, while OnePlus says it can up to 1430 nits. But the thing that surprised me is that the Nord CE5 looks much brighter and more vibrant than the Phone 3a. Plus, HDR10 support for Netflix is also there on the Nord, while it's missing on the Phone 3a. So maybe Phone 3a has a software bug or something. I'm not sure what's the problem here. Do let me know if you have any info on this. Both displays are color accurate, but Nord CE5 has smart water touch feature that lets you use the display even when it's wet, which is very useful. Both have in-display fingerprint sensor and they work well, no issues there. But Phone 3a's fingerprint sensor is slightly faster, as you can see here. Now, one disappointing thing with the Nord CE5 is that it doesn't have an always-on display. There is an option in the settings menu, but it only remains on for just 5 seconds. And this is a really weird move from OnePlus. And I think they should push a software update to enable this. And that's not all. Nord CE5 has a single mono speaker. It is loud enough, and you'll not be missing any calls, and even watching videos on loudspeaker is okay. But at this price, single mono speaker doesn't make sense, to be brutally honest. Let's dig into performance. Nord CE5 rocks the MediaTek Dimensity 8350, a proper mid-high-end chip paired with LPDDR5X RAM and UFS 3.1 storage. Nothing Phone 3a sticks with a Snapdragon 7S Gen 3 with a slower LPDDR4X RAM and UFS 2.2 storage, which is mediocre, to be honest. In benchmarks, clearly Nord CE5 is far ahead, whether it was CPU, GPU, and of course storage read and write speeds. But open them side by side for daily stuff like scrolling reels, WhatsApp, and web browsing, it's honestly a closer fight. The optimization on Nothing OS is absolutely on point. Animations are zippy, there's usually no lag, and it feels fast faster than the benchmark gap suggests. OnePlus is still ahead though, as the animations are even better and it never slowed down even a bit. But you'll notice a significant difference when you're switching between multiple apps. Nord CE5 is very smooth thanks to the faster RAM and storage. Let's now come to gaming. And this is wild. BGMI recently got an update and now it runs at 120 FPS on the Phone 3a. On the Nord CE5, it shows you can only run it on 90 FPS, but you can boost the frames to 120 FPS via built-in game booster. It keeps that frame rate between 115 to 120 thanks to the more powerful CPU and GPU. And even for longer sessions, say 45 plus minutes, I didn't see any frame drops. But there were a few frame drops on the Nothing Phone 3a, which I also covered in my Moto H60 Fusion comparison video as well. Both smartphones get warm. In fact, I felt OnePlus gets a bit warmer, but neither phone felt uncomfortably hot. Nord CE5 also offers microSD expansion, so even if you purchase a 128GB phone, you can expand the storage, and that's not the case with the Nothing Phone 3a. On the flip side, Nothing 3a has NFC, so you can make tap-to-pay payments, while Nord CE5 has IR Blaster, so it can be used as a remote. Now the most interesting section for me, the software. Both ship with Android 15 out of the box. OxygenOS 15 on the Nord CE5 is loaded with features, good UI, a very smooth animation engine, and powerful AI features. Stuff like AI summary, AI quick translation, AI writing, photo editing features like the reflection eraser and recompose tool, and my favorite, AI call assistant, which records the calls and creates a summary, which is quite a useful feature in my opinion. It has a few pre-installed apps which can be uninstalled, and they have their own app store which sometimes sends unnecessary notifications, but it can be disabled too altogether. Nothing OS 3.2 meanwhile is a very clean and minimal themed UI. Absolutely zero bloatware, no ad pop-ups, no forced apps. The customization options are also great, like lock screen widgets, app cloning, call recording that works with any app. And I generally love the focus of the UI. Feels like Pixel UI, but with a unique twist. Phone 3 has an essential space which can be accessed through the essential key just below the power button. But I kept hitting it accidentally during my use, and it's not that feature rich. I have talked about it in my long-term review of the Nothing Phone 3a, so check it out for more details. About the future updates, OnePlus promises 4 Android updates and 6 years of security updates, while Nothing promises 3 plus 6 years of updates. Nothing Phone 3a packs a 50MP main camera with OIS, 50MP telephoto with 2x optical zoom, and an 8MP ultrawide. And front is a 32MP selfie camera. Nord CE5 offers just 2 back cameras, a 50MP main with OIS and an 8MP ultrawide, and the front one is a 16MP selfie camera. Nothing Phone 3a is ahead, especially after the latest update. Earlier, the Phone 3a struggled with color inconsistency and unpredictable dynamic range, but now it's mostly fixed. Nord CE5 on the other hand leans heavily on oversaturation. Photos pop, but skin tones are just inaccurate. The Nord does do a slightly better job at controlling lens flare when shooting into direct light, but honestly, that's not enough to make up the overall drop in detail compared to Phone 3a. And that's true whether you are shooting in daylight or at night. The results from the Phone 3 are consistently sharper and more true to life, which is impressive considering both pack a 50MP main camera. Both have an 8MP ultrawide, and again, Phone 3 delivers better and noticeably wider shots, but I wouldn't spend too much time praising either. Phone 3 also has a dedicated telephoto camera and it's useful for getting closer to subjects without losing clarity, which Nord simply can't match. When it comes to video recording, OnePlus main camera can record at 4K 60fps and the ultrawide can only do 1080p 30, and the front can do 1080p 60fps only. Nothing's main and telephoto cameras max out at 4K 30fps and the front can record at 1080p 60, and the ultrawide can only record at 1080p 30fps. So both phones are quite average for video recording. Both phones start at 25,000 for the 128GB variant and they go up to 256GB for another 2,000 rupees. But you can get away with 128GB on the OnePlus because it has microSD card slot and it also includes that 80W charger in the box, so another 2,000 rupees saved. So what's the verdict? Choose Nothing Phone 3a if you want a unique head-turning design, value clean software experience, want better and versatile cameras, and stereo speakers are a must for you. It's a phone for the enthusiast and the crowd that wants something different. Go for OnePlus Nord CE5 if you're all about battery life, fast charging, good performance, storage expansion, and you want actual useful AI features. It's a more practical and reliable phone. And if I had to choose, then I would pick the OnePlus Nord CE5. Honestly, you won't go wrong with either, but knowing your priorities will make all the difference. And if you found this video helpful, then hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thanks for watching Once Upon a Techie, and I'll see you in the next one.